What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Today we got a true crime story where it says wife kills her husband and thinks she could get away with it. Y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. 21 minutes and 58 seconds long. Get right into it. Let's see if she gonna get away with it.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm on the lake.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you. What's the address?
I'm on the lake, but I don't know where. My husband he had a stroke and he fell over.
Are you out and about?
That fake ass cry.
Is he awake?
No,
Okay.
he's in the water.
He's in the water?
He's gone. I've been looking for him for hours.
The woman on the other end of this 911 call is 66-year-old Lori Eisenberg. A man overboard normally wouldn't get such an alarming response from dispatchers. However, it's winter in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and the likelihood of the search and rescue for Lori's husband, Larry Eisenberg, is more likely now a search and recovery. Lori waited over 2 hours to call 911.
Are you out and about?
You waited over 2 hours to call
He was driving
to call dispatch.
Stood up fast.
Gotta be. She had
The
did
motor,
something.
something's wrong with the motor. And so then he unzipped the cover thing and went to the front of the boat. He turned towards me and he'd say something about the electric motor, and his face.
I sound like she lied.
What misleading and little
It sounded
information
like he
officials would
lied.
get from Lori would lead them to the bigger question. Was this really an accident like Lori stated, or something more insidious? Eisenberg were almost a picture-perfect couple, though they had no children together. Both Larry and Lori's children described their relationship as loving and blissful. In fact, detectives would later find out that one of their rare, frequent arguments was on the topic of Lori's excessive spending on her kids. Larry wasn't too keen on Lori paying all of their bills with his money. Larry owned a beautiful home with land in Cougar Gulch. They were close enough to the peaceful lake that they would often take their boat out on to look at the sunrise. In the early morning hours of February 13th, 2018, Lori and Larry set out on their occasional sunrise boat trip on the lake. Larry texted his daughter a photo of the sunrise that morning, and according to phone records, Larry also sent a friend a text that he was feeling too under the weather to fish that morning.
See any houses or big trees or landmarks?
In the water.
Okay. It's okay.
I didn't see.
About how far do you think it was away
I think she fake.
What?
from where you
really
got
think
picked up
she
by the
faked.
fireboat? About how far from the shore do you think, maybe? That's okay.
She said he believes he might have had a medical episode that caused him to fall into the water.
He said he didn't feel good and he was doing things weird, and then he went up to the motor and the motor wasn't broken, it was the other motor.
Okay.
And then I said, why are you doing that? And he turned to look at me and his face just looked,
Okay.
it looked awful, and then it just started to fall, and I tried to get the door open and get to him, and I couldn't grab him, and I fell,
Okay. Okay.
and then I didn't see him.
Well, like I
You
said,
could
we have
tell.
the best people out there looking for
She
him,
know
okay?
he
Very good
lied.
divers, very good rescue team that's out looking for him, okay?
She ain't not
But if you
even
can
making
think of
eye
anything, if
contact.
while they're checking you out, if you can think of any landmarks or anything that you may have seen, and I
She
know
just
it's
looking
kind of
at
hard
the
to think about right now,
boat.
but if you think of anything, please let us know, okay? But
Where did you launch into the water? In Harrison or
Sun up.
Sunup Bay?
Bay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'd been driving around and I was sleeping because
Okay.
I didn't sleep last night. I was just resting.
Okay.
I don't know how long.
Yeah. Okay.
But you think
Okay.
you guys headed for this side of the lake? You were aiming for this side rather than
I
the Sunup side?
remember-
Or not yet?
I was sort of
Bro, you just said you didn't remember. Now you remember.
According to Lori, Larry had suffered a stroke when he walked to the front of the boat and fell overboard. Emergency responders located Lori on the lake and brought her back to shore for medical attention. Lori called 911 around 10:25 a.m., and deputies arrived at the location at around 11 a.m. Perplexingly, Lori waited almost 2 hours to call 911. So at this point, deputies attempt to get any information from Lori as to the last known location of where Larry...
So if you waited 2 hours to call 911, what was you doing within the 2 hour time frame? Make sense.
fell into the water to get a search and rescue team in the air and on the water.
My name is Cecilia. I'm a mom of 2 girls, a psychologist, and I choose to transform my PVC treatment journey with iCurve.
The deputy picks up on Lori's distraught state. At this point, the deputy's main priority is to help locate Larry.
I think we will be very cautious with her.
This goes at your pace, okay? Ready? There you go, good job. Okay?
Me and my niggas be bitches. We doing the bitches.
I'm 99% sure Todd's not going that way. You want to assist me getting the stuff up?
Yeah.
What about the other gear, Charlotte?
My niggas in the hallway. That's the hallway.
Yeah, we'll get all that in just a second.
Do you want to just take a picture of it? Because there's some other stuff about what she said about him if you want it.
Okay.
I looked at him, he's good, but I got to get this paper to them.
Yeah, no problem. Let me get a picture.
Yeah, we don't have an exact location, so I think they're going to try to rendezvous their sonar.
Okay. Got it. Yep, should be able to see it.
Run sonar that way. Okay.
Just go ahead and set that straight down.
Everybody search for the husband. Nah.
That should sit just like that. Yeah.
I think the lady lying.
This will be fun.
Well, heavy man.
Cause who you know wait 2 hours to go to this?
Yeah.
What would you know?
Loading this back to your car? For now? You're not.
We don't see what you.
You're not going out on this, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Right.
I hate a motherfucking liar, bro. I swear to God. I hate a fucking liar, bro. I don't give a fuck. Big, small lie, bitch. You a fucking liar.
Lori isn't able to pinpoint exactly where Larry was last seen, so instead of divers getting in the water, rescuers opt to do a sonar search instead. While Lori is taken to the hospital, several other deputies retrieve Larry's boat to tow it in for evidence processing.
Hey, Justin, that lens is pointed up. I don't know. Oh, yep, thank you.
Oh, that looks like blood. What is that on there? Oh, that looks like blood. I knew you was lying if that is blood.
Alright, I'm not gonna go down in. No, just yeah. There's just a lot of splatter up here, so sure we'll take this. I can't. Yeah. We might
this boat's back in.
A search of the boat revealed Lori's purse with both of their wallets and an empty naked juice bottle in it. What struck detectives as odd was the fact that the boat's ignition key was bent. Either intentional or not, the lanyard with the kill switch that must be attached to the ignition for the boat to run was found on the deck. According to Lori's story, she thought that Larry had fallen in the water with his phone and didn't realize it was on the boat until after she found a blanket to keep warm.
Yeah, right.
That was why she delayed in calling 911. Conveniently, she happened to drop the phone in the water after the call and had left her phone in their truck. A search of their truck at the dock didn't give many clues to the mystery, but they did find a bottle of allergy medication with the active ingredient of diphenhydramine, an ingredient commonly found in Benadryl. A normal dose for the average man causes slight drowsiness. This fact would come up again later in the investigation. The search area for Larry was far too vast for the team to effectively find Larry. An investigator visits Lori at the hospital to explain the next steps and try to see if she can give more clear answers on where Larry was.
But we can't search an area like that because of the depth. As divers, we can't go that deep for more than about 6 minutes at a time. And so we can't search a big area in 6 minutes. So we have a sonar team. And essentially what they have is they have we call it the fish. And it's a big long sonar that reads the bottom of the lake. And that's how we'll find Larry. And essentially what they're looking at is a 5-foot swatch of the ground. So if you imagine a 5-foot long swatch, they have to go back and forth a lot. And so it's a big area. So it can be a very time consuming thing. If you fall off a dock, and we know, okay, at the end of the dock, it's a little bit simpler. But because you're out and there's no way to reference, when you're in the middle of the lake, it's hard to reference if you think, okay, I was right across from that tree. If I go 100 feet this way, you're still right across from that tree, if that makes sense. So your search area gets a lot bigger. Essentially, every time we have a situation like this, we have to rule out any foul play. Of course, we're not accusing you of anything, but that's our job to make sure that's not what's happening. So anytime we have these situations, it's just our standard protocol. So as soon as the detective can, because they'll get a subpoena for phone records, and as soon as they can show that your phone wasn't been used in that block period of time, then you can have it back, that type of thing. So that's all they're trying to make sure, because if you say, yeah, it was in the truck, and then we see that you used it at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock calling other people, that's what we run into. So that's what we're doing. Same thing with the boat and the truck. The truck, I'm pretty sure we can release to you whenever you're ready to get it. The boat is really the only thing that we're concerned with right now. And I'll have you in touch with Sergeant Klinkfus, and he can keep you up to date as far as when you can grab those things, okay? Your purse, I was told that you can have that back, so that's why I got that for you. And I think that's everything. We have the keys, that way if we need to move the truck, we can. Okay? Do you have any questions for me?
Before this happened. Before any of this can happen, this happens. Behind the scenes.
For now, investigators feel as if Lori is genuine and telling the truth. However, it had been more than 10 days since the search for Larry with no luck. Meanwhile, Lori's neighbors reported to police that she was acting strange and out of character. Apparently, she had her family help her move everything out of their house and wanted to sell all their belongings immediately. Even investigators picked up on her strange behavior while she was asked to participate in helping with the search. One moment she was smiling and laughing, and the next crying. However, she would just stop crying mid-conversation when it picked back up. Sensing that something wasn't right, Larry's children asked to speak to the investigators about their concerns regarding Lori.
Okay, so, what's giving you those kind of concerns?
One, they were sick, and I don't know why they were out on the lake in the first place.
And she had mentioned that he had the flu.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both sick. They were fixing to go south like they always do with the camper trailer, and would have been yesterday or something.
When you say south, like how far south are you talking?
Like Lake Tahoe and there.
Okay, so down south, okay.
Yeah, they tool around, hit the coast, and drive up the coastline or down the coastline. Dad and I we rearrange where the camper is, the boat is. The boat's done for when it gets put away, it's done for the winter. I don't know why it would have been taken out.
Does it normally sit behind?
the boat's in front in the summertime, and then in the wintertime the boat goes in the back. So I don't know why they'd rearrange it to take the boat out in the winter. It's icier and shit. I mean, I'm just trying to park the camper today. That's why I'm soaking wet.
Mhm.
It's just a mess and a disaster.
The camper.
Lori's always cold. I don't understand why they'd be out on the lake in the first place.
Mhm.
This isn't when they'd be fishing or doing that. And coming over to help was how we're going to start divvying everything up, and it's just, and I'm gone. Like the peas, it doesn't feel right to me.
Okay. And that's important to know because
I mean, I wouldn't suspect, but like this, the whole damn thing just doesn't feel right. Maybe it's just my grief. Because I've never
Ain't
dealt with
nobody
grief, but
died.
it literally just doesn't feel
How
right.
you
Larry's
deal
children are
with grief?
picking up on Lori's strange behavior, and it turns out to be worse than they thought. Lori was extremely convincing to detectives, but after a deeper dive into Lori's background, detectives begin to see behind Lori's fake persona. Apparently, Lori had cheated on her first husband with several men, one of which was Larry. A major fraud lawsuit was brought against her from where she had worked for years, the North Idaho Housing Coalition. An internal audit revealed that she had taken nearly $500,000. When asked why, she turned the blame on her daughters, stating that she did it for them, to pay their bills. A search warrant was served at Lori's home, and what investigators found was alarming.
See, what I
A
tell
Ziploc
y'all,
bag
right?
with
She
white
has
powder
something to
and
do with
latex
it.
gloves were found. During this time, Lori was actually arrested for the fraud charges, and her daughter posted her bail of $75,000. After more than 14 days, Larry was found on the shore of Lake Coeur d'Alene. He was fully clothed, and there didn't seem to be any signs of a struggle. During the autopsy, the coroner performed a toxicology report on Larry. The results confirmed investigators' suspicions. Larry had lethal amounts of diphenhydramine in his system. The naked juice bottle found in Lori's purse on the boat was also found to have the medication in the juice. Investigators theorized that this was how Larry had ingested the lethal dose. Larry had been under the weather when he died, so it would have been easy for Lori to slip the medication to him unnoticed. The coroner also confirmed that Larry had passed before he went into the water, as there were no signs of drowning or signs of a stroke. Lori seemed to be a loving wife and normal person, so investigators theorized the motive was her money troubles. Lori knew that her day was coming when she would be found out for
She
her
looked
fraud
like
scheme.
she crazy.
About a month
Look at
before
her.
Larry's
She
passing,
looked like she crazy. She looked like yeah. It's crazy.
Lori had made some handwritten changes to Larry's will, bequeathing 80% of his assets to her children and 20% to Larry's. It would also make her the sole benefactor of his estate, allowing her to pay her
That's
debts
crazy.
owed. It was believed that Larry had no knowledge of her secret criminal activity and would have been
You only-
extremely upset with her if he had found out.
80% for your children and 20% to his children. Oh, bitch, you money hungry. You money hungry like then a bitch.
Lori had missed 2 court dates for her fraud case and was believed to be in hiding during this time because she knew the death investigation would also indict her on charges. A $500,000 bounty was placed on her, and a warrant was issued for her arrest. Lori turned herself in 2 months later, but investigators had to wait until her case was settled to speak with her about Larry's circumstances surrounding his passing. After 6 months, Lori was found guilty of wire fraud, as well as federal program theft,
5 years.
and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Investigators were able to
Bro,
now
she was
speak with Lori in
she
the
was
interrogation
sentenced to
room
5
about their
years.
findings.
5 years? Is it because she white? And she got sentenced to 5 years? Motherfuckers that do fraud, there's a black color type shit, they get sentenced to fucking fraud. They get sentenced to motherfucking 15 years to 10 to like 15 years. What the fuck, bruh? Hell no, she could've got, let me see, she could've got more time, bruh.
So when we initially talked back at your residence,
It's got 5 years.
I believe that, and correct me if I'm wrong,
She could've at least
I'm
got
trying to go over the version that I have to
maybe
ensure that it's correct. So
a good 10
Mr.
years
Romance,
type shit.
Larry,
Fuck
and you guys have
around
been not
with
feeling well for a while, and he came up with a romantic deal that, hey, why don't we go out on the lake?
Shit, if it was a fucking black person, get their ass 10 to 15 years.
Is that pretty much accurate so far? Okay.
That shit
One of the
crazy.
areas that was a little confusing is
That's
the
how I
different
know
areas
this shit
in
like.
which, you had mentioned that you found a phone. Detective Jackson, who was a diver, he was a dive rescue dude. You found it when you were looking for, or when you were getting a blanket to get warm. So Detective Jackson, I believe it was, you found it within a blanket with medical personnel. You had mentioned you found it in a coat pocket. And then I believe with me, you found it on the dash. Which is the accurate one?
Man, you still lying to these people. Like, you still trying to make yourself seem like you're innocent. Bitch, you fucking lying.
So,
just tell the fucking truth. If you old enough to do the crime, bitch, tell the whole truth.
There are a lot of questions that come up, and obviously, I'm sure that you've been able to see the affidavit that was published over at the Spokane deal.
She look like she don't understand, bitch. Nah, you understand.
So the end result is, quite frankly,
exactly, bro.
Did you kill Larry or didn't you kill Larry? And that's what we got to dial the facts in to support one way or another. Because in the end, our opinions don't matter at all. It's
dude, if you bold enough to do the crime, bitch, you bold enough to tell what the fuck you did. From start to fucking finish, bruh.
People think based on TV that we're the ones that put you in prison, and that's not reality. Reality is all we do is collect facts, present it onto the prosecutor, same as Detective Bryant or Gunnarsson, excuse me.
Shit, they already know your ass motherfucking lying.
So with that being said, is there anything that you can think about that in our initial conversation that after all this time would be different? Okay. So then we come to the part where Larry is autopsied and they do toxicology on him. And there is a large quantity of diphenhydramine, aka Benadryl, aka, but really wouldn't be a cough medicine. It's pretty much a Benadryl situation. And we're trying to figure out, any ideas? Lori, there's a lot of things within your phone records. There's a lot of things within your Facebook
can hear
records
my mouth, right?
that will lead one to believe that it's something other than what it is. And
Lori, can I ask you a question? Going on your computer searches, when you went to Florida, you've got searches about depth charts, whether you can vote on Bayview at night. There's a lot of stuff there.
Oh, so this was like a premeditated murder. She was plotting on his eyes.
And that's what we're going to be doing, because that's what we need to conclude the case. So, do you have a retained attorney right now? By all means, that's 100% with me acceptable, because I think it's, at this point, if you...
Because I don't need to say things, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't...
She's so clueless. Like, wait.
I don't know where people are coming up with.
Of course she gonna refuse.
Lori refused to admit any of her participation in the passing of her husband, even though all of the evidence was stacked against her. She allowed the case to go to trial and was found guilty. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Larry was extremely loved by all those who knew him. He had no idea that the person he loved would scheme in such a terrible way just to get his money.
But nah, that shit was good as hell though. Motherfuckers be knowing what the fuck they be doing. And it just plays so motherfucking clueless. Like, if you bold enough to do whatever you doing, be bold enough to tell the truth and tell nothing but the truth, you feel me? Like, motherfuckers don't take no accountability. None of it. But y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I get that a 10 out of 10. Like, motherfuckers just be lying. That's why your ass got sentenced to life. And now you in that bitch riding. Cause you wanna go kill your husband so you can apparently take all his money. Well, you thought you was gonna take all his money. Shit be crazy, bruh. But I'm out of here though. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.